On board as well, Bob Weiner, Democratic strategist and former communications director for Clinton drug czar General Barry McCaffrey. Bob, good to have you as well.
It's a pleasure, Alan. But having worked on the Hill, the sequestration was an HR and an S, a House bill and a Senate bill, which got a majority of both parties, of both members of the House and the Senate. The Constitution would find it funny that Woodward claims that the president originated it when they were bills that came to him from the House and the Senate, no matter what the president said first. Usually they ignore him.
How much does this undercut the president's credibility when pointing out future recaps of policy disputes to come, such as the upcoming March 27th continuing resolution meant to keep the government funded till September 30th of this year? Bob Weiner.
Bottom line on the continuing resolution is both Obama and Boehner agree that they want to pass one, and they're going to do it at the levels that we are at now. So it looks like the government will not shut down. Let's get that out front. In terms of, Amy, why you get elected, you don't get elected to get elected. You get elected for a reason. And Obama was as clear as day saying he expected revenues and fairness as part of his campaign, and that's what the American people supported with about a 75% margin.
Bob, I got to go to you on this one. I know you normally hold her in high regard, but she's talking about losing 170 million jobs in a country where only 135 million exist.
I don't hold Maxine Waters in high regard. I think she's a flaming lefty, liberal, way out there. Of course, the fact is it's 750,000 jobs, less than half of what she's talking about. Well, I don't even know the numbers, the dimensions.
170 million.
Yeah,
170. Not a half. We don't even have that to offer her as a lifeline.
The answer is, according to CBO, 750,000 jobs, but 70,000 kids at a head start, but small businesses, 540 million losing, but thousands of fewer food inspections, but up to 12,000 scientists like my beautiful bride wife, cancer scientist, losing funding, but 373,000 mentally ill patients could go untreated. There are realities in sequestration. One of the hyperboles was the Republicans whining that our whole national security and our national defense and our safety on this earth was going to be destroyed if we lost 2.5% of defense funding. So the hyperbole was on both sides, Alan.
So do you see the very thing that Obama earlier rejected as being something he might give some ground on now, if for no other reason than to hopefully soften the blow of these sequester cuts?
Yeah, I'm a bit confused as to why the president wouldn't want the flexibility unless he thinks that that's a way of them just not ever doing anything and not ever getting to the grand bargain. I'm not as cynical, Amy, as you are on the electoral strategy, because I think Obama is cognizant of the fact that the out-of-office party always wins in an off-year election. We're not going to regain the House this time. I'd love to, obviously. I mean, I support Pelosi for Speaker, this and that. But
well, it happened once, and it happened during Clinton's second term.
I don't think it's going to happen. It's anti-historical for it to happen, and the patterns don't. But having said that, I really do believe he wants the grand bargain. I really do believe.
But he can have the grand bargain as separate from trying to move the goalpost on another bargain he already struck. Those are not mutually exclusive, are they, Bob? By the way, before I give you a chance, because I know I've beaten you over the head over this, and you know, God bless you, buddy. I know you're carrying some water right now for a guy who really messed up royally on this one.
Well,
so
no.
I'm going to take it. Look, accept my compassion as it's rarely given.
Gene Sperling was out there, Alan. I'll fight you on this one because Gene Sperling was out there pointing out about Graham Rudman Hollings. They tried that balanced budget constitutional stuff. There's all kinds of history on the basis of the sequester that way predates what Obama did.
The polls today still say most Americans can't stand Obamacare. Those polls have been basically the same. Those polls have been the same both before and after the election in 2012. But I want to move on to something else.
What do you make of Romney's idiocy in that Fox interview saying Obama won on Obamacare? Isn't that one of the stupidest things you've ever heard?
Well, then you agree with me that he did not win on Obamacare.
He did not win on it, but he had courage to pass it.
Secretary of Education Arnie Duncan claimed that 40,000 teachers would lose their jobs and that 100 were getting pink slips in Kanawha County, West Virginia alone. Turns out these were transfer notices resulting in changes in future assignments having nothing to do with sequestration, Bob, or the loss of hours. The White House actually got 4 Pinocchios from the Washington Post fact checker Glenn Kessler. Bob,
it was wrong. The real answer, as I was reading you the numbers before, the one on teachers is 10,000 teacher jobs will be put at risk. So Duncan was off.